This is crazy.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. We are going to pause for a moment on our coverage of the California wildfires to bring you this breaking news. President-elect Donald Trump has been sentenced to an unconditional discharge in relation to his hush money case. Here's the latest of what we know breaking right now. President-elect Donald Trump formally sentenced today, moments ago, in that case, but the judge declined to impose any punishment. The outcome cements Trump's conviction while freeing him to return to the White House unencumbered by the threat of a jail term or a fine. And again, Trump was charged with 34 felonies. He was put on trial for almost 2 months and convicted on every count. Yet the legal detour didn't hurt him with voters who elected him to a second term. So moments ago, Manhattan Judge Juan Merchan, he could have sentenced Trump to 4 years in prison, but instead he chose a sentence that sidestepped constitutional issues by effectively ending the case, but assuring that Trump will become the first person convicted of a felony to assume the presidency. Trump has said his criminal trial and conviction has, quote, been a very terrible experience and insisted he committed no crime as he appeared virtually moments ago to be sentenced.
And a live look at the court in New York, where we have breaking news to tell you about. In Donald Trump's hush money case, the judge has sentenced the president-elect to an unconditional discharge, no jail time or probation. And Kamal Karamali is following this story. He joins us now with more on this. Kamal, the unconditional discharge, what are we looking at for that?
Yeah, we had known in some ways, Roger, that this was coming down. Judge Juan Merchan had heavily indicated in this past week that this would be the sentencing that would be handed down. So once again, an unconditional discharge means that in New York, the conviction would hold, but there would be no jail or fine or penalties. The sentence, though, places a judgment of guilt on Trump's record. And so that is the significance of it, although once again, no jail time, fine, or penalties issued as a result of this sentencing. When this sentence was read, Trump did not react at that moment, but Judge Juan Merchan saying the considerable, indeed extraordinary legal protections afforded to the office of the chief executive is a factor that overrides all others. Some powerful words there. They do not reduce the seriousness of the crime or justify its commission in any way, he went on to say. Now, prior to Judge Merchan reading out the actual sentence, we did hear from Trump earlier in this hearing that began at 9:30 this morning. He did say, the fact is, I'm totally innocent. I did nothing wrong. Trump also detailed his election victory. He pointed to accountants writing down legal expenses in this hush money case, not him. So he kept presuming his innocence and called this once again a political witch hunt. This all comes after Trump and his team tried to launch a last-minute bid to halt this sentencing last night. You're taking a look here at the New York Criminal Court where this is taking place. But in his attempt to halt this sentencing last night, the U.S. Supreme Court declined to stop the sentencing by a 5-4 ruling yesterday, which means this would go ahead. And just a quick reminder as to how we got here. Trump was charged back in March of 2023 with 34 counts of falsifying business records to cover up his former lawyer paying porn star Stormy Daniels $130,000 for her silence back in the 2016 election about a sexual encounter she said she had with Trump. The Manhattan jury back in May of 30th found Trump guilty of all 34 counts. And now this morning at 9:30, when this hearing began, we have now reached determined a sentencing for Donald Trump, an unconditional discharge, once again, meaning no jail time or fines or penalties, Roger. This all coming 10 days before his inauguration as U.S. president.
And of course, we're not done yet, are we?
No, not at all. A lot more coming, and we are going to hopefully hear from Donald Trump himself. Once again, 10 days from the inauguration. We're also waiting to hear from Democrats as well as fellow Republicans as well. So we'll keep you apprised as the day unfolds.
Okay, CTV's Kamal Karamali, thank you for that.
Thank you, Roger.
Again, if you are just joining us here on Live Now from Fox for this breaking news update, we do know that Manhattan Judge Juan Merchan, he has sentenced President-elect Donald Trump to unconditional discharge, and Fox News is reporting what that means. That means no prison, no probation, no conditions for President-elect Donald Trump. He is now set to return to the White House unencumbered by the threat of a jail term or a fine. So again, if you are just joining us here on Live Now from Fox, that is the latest of what we know with all of this breaking as of right now. And again, we have not heard from President-elect Donald Trump after this just came out here. But again, what we did know after he appeared virtually moments ago in court, he said that it has, quote, been a very terrible experience. And once again, insisting he committed no crime in all of this. So we'll bring you the latest here on Live Now from Fox if we do hear anything else.
Right now at noon, President-elect Trump has been sentenced in his historic hush money case.
A judge sentencing him to an unconditional discharge after his conviction last year on 34 counts of business fraud related to hush money payment to Stormy Daniels during the 2016 presidential campaign. Local 10's Christina Vasquez joins us live outside Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach.
And she explains what this ruling actually means for the big picture for the incoming president.
In a nutshell, what it means is it formalizes his status as a felon. But when it comes to punishment, this is the lightest sentence available under New York state law. That means no prison time, no probation, no fine. Donald Trump did join this hearing in New York from the comfort of his resort here in Palm Beach County.
I'm totally innocent. I did nothing wrong.
Donald Trump virtually appearing at his hush money case sentencing hearing Friday morning, a judge deciding the president-elect won't serve time or pay a fine. Last summer, Donald Trump became the first former president to be convicted on felony criminal charges. In May, a New York jury found him guilty of illegally falsifying 34 New York business records in order to illegally influence the 2016 election and what the DA's office called a catch and kill scheme to cover up a six-figure payment to Stormy Daniels, a porn star who said she had sex with Trump, claims Trump has denied.
I did nothing wrong. By the way, I did nothing, absolutely nothing wrong.
Trump chided the jury's decision of guilt on 34 felony counts, and he attempted to skirt sentencing by asking the Supreme Court for help. But on Thursday, in a 5-4 vote, the Supreme Court denied his request to halt his hush money sentencing.
Far from expressing any kind of remorse for his criminal conduct, the defendant has purposefully bred disdain for our judicial institutions and the rule of law.
During Friday's proceeding, a judge finalizing his felony conviction, choosing one of the most lenient sentences allowed under New York state law, unconditional discharge, which according to the New York Penal Code is a sentence imposed without imprisonment, fine, or probation supervision. A sentence of unconditional discharge is for all purposes a final judgment of conviction. A final judgment of conviction. So once again, it essentially formalizes his status as a felon. You know, inauguration is just days away. That means that when he's sworn in to be our next president, he is doing so as a felon. It also means now that he's gotten through this sentencing phase, he can now start his formal process to appeal that conviction. Reporting live for you, I'm Christina Vasquez, Local 10 News.
Hit that like for a deal with Christian. Yo, for a deal with Christian. Smash that bell for DWC. Yo, smash it, just smash it. Hit that like for a deal with Christian. For a deal with Christian. Smash that bell for DWC. Yo, smash it, just smash it. Hit that like for a deal with Christian.